there's many ways to think about our relationships and to think about what they're for. And when we use different words, they actually conjure up different images and different emotional relationships and to the words that we use to describe. And the idea of having impact with a relationship is a good one because we're thinking about what our relationship is for and what purpose does it serve, what purpose does it serve in culture. And we're always having an impact. All of our relationships have an impact on the people around us, on the culture around us. Sometimes that impact is benign, sometimes it's weak, not very significant, not very influential. Sometimes it's very positive, sometimes it's very strong. What we're aspiring for in the context in which I speak about relationships is to have an inspirational impact, to have an impact on each other and on our families, our neighborhoods, our communities, our spiritual culture around us that's one of inspiration and strength. I mean, we basically want to be living in such a way that our lives are bringing inspiration to everyone around us. And what we're going to explore in this is we're going to explore how thinking about relationship in that way also, interestingly enough, tends to get us what we want out of the relationship anyway. It tends to create relationships that are happy, fulfilling, intimate, lively, fun, creative, peaceful, supportive, all the things that we tend to look for, we tend to get when we're intending for our relationship to be one of inspiration. And that's really what I'm going to open up in the exploration tonight. If you think about it, really we're trained to think about getting what we want from relationships. And I've been doing a little bit of research to see what is being taught and what are the issues and what are a lot of the questions that are out there about relationship. And what I'm finding more and more is that we're really trained to look and judge our relationship by whether or not we're getting what we want. And, we want support, we want security, we want dynamic physical, intimate physical relationship, we want to be affirmed, we want to be loved, we want to be appreciated. A lot of these things aren't bad, but we are trained to judge how well our relationship is going by whether we're getting what we want. Now, we may think that we don't really work that way, but we do tend to. And if you just take a minute and just think about it for a second, and think about how much do you judge how well your relationship is going by how well your needs are being met. I know that's a slightly convoluted question the way I asked it, but think about it. My relationship is going well because I feel that my basic requirements and my needs and what I'm looking for from my partner, those are all being fulfilled, so my relationship is going well. That we tend to think that way. Now, what we're going to do tonight is we're going to look at a different way around that question. And again, I'm not saying that it's bad to want to have our needs met. I'm just saying that there's a different lens that can be much more inspiring, much more dynamic, and much more fulfilling, and also one that will really serve a purpose beyond our own happiness. What I want to open up is that thinking about our relationship in terms of what its impact could be shifts our position or attitude from one of lack, where I'm needing to be fulfilled by my partner, to one of generosity. My relationship is there to inspire others, to be an example of happiness, of joy, of trustworthiness, of stability, of creativity, of affection. So my relationship, my happiness, my joy is really there to make other people feel happy. So when we're looking at our relationship that way and experiencing all those things in order for it to be a wholesome influence on everyone around us, we're standing in a posture of generosity towards others rather than a position of lack. And of course, being in a position of generosity tends to be a better foundation for a relationship. Because when we're feeling generous, when we're feeling already fulfilled, when we're feeling uplifted, when we want to extend ourselves to others, or when we're simply feeling delightfully happy in our lives and in the work that we're doing in our relationship with our partners, that position, that attitude, that receptivity, that porousness, that completion tends to also inspire our partners to be more magnanimous towards us. So if we're looking for support and inspiration and fulfillment, a posture of generosity does tend to make that easier to be the currency between us and our partners. When we start cultivating the qualities that are inspiring in relationships that will have a positive impact on everyone around us, it really does shift our attitude towards our relationship for the better. And one of the things that it also brings into our relationship is it brings into the relationship a stance of maturity, a stance of depth, and a stance of dignity. Because we all have more capacity than we put to use. We tend to not live from the fullness of our life experience. We have had more insight than we apply. We've got better qualities than we push ourselves to express. So we want our relationship to be one that has positive impact, that's inspiring to others. It pulls forth from us a sense of our fullness of self and a sense of our life experience, a sense of the depth that we've already discovered and intimated, and brings that to the forefront. So even if we have challenging issues to deal with in our relationships or in our lives, our life presents us with all kinds of obstacles and challenges, we will work them from the better part of our nature. We'll work them from the fullness of ourselves. We'll work them from that part of ourselves that can already live to a higher standard than we are. So discovering that is a powerful position. It's a powerful posture and stance. And you can see that it starts to change the orientation from one of lack to one of richness, to one of maturity, to one of life experience, to one of options and positivity. And again, even if we're encountering very challenging situations that we don't know how to deal with them, we still want to deal with those challenging situations from the fullness of ourselves.